set of technologies and technical innovations that I feel we're going to see more commonplace in games over the next 5 years. I'm not looking at a focus of 10 or 20 years. I'm looking at things that will be in a relatively recent time horizon. And I'm going to focus primarily on high-budget gaming, the kind of console games that sell for $50. The reason I look at that in particular is because I feel that that's the proving ground for an awful lot of technical innovation, and it's from there that game development trends tend to flow into other areas like social and mobile. Now, there's an awful lot of networking development that goes on in social and mobile, but I'm not going to ignore that. I'm not going to focus on that today. So when you think about high-end gaming, it's also natural to think about movies and the types of experiences we see there. And having been lucky enough to have been involved in the production of several Hollywood blockbusters over its time. So I find these are often a useful starting point to look at what kind of things gamers are going to demand from games into the future. So we're going to take a quick look at just some CGI scenes, and I want you to pay close attention to things like motion capture, things like compositing in the scenes. We'll take a quick look now. Can you click and roll the video? Shift F5 and in the center of the screen. Or go to the folder. Why don't you go to the folder and you'll see the movie there. Sorry about this. So you'll see 2009 Havoc. So if you watch here how complex CGI scene is actually built from multiple layers. It's not just a single shot. It's several things are layered and composited to build the final scene of the scene. Here we've got a mix of motion capture, live action, and simulation to produce the final result. Fluid simulation, and you'll see simulation used in the pre-visualization stage. So here in this particular scene, you simply couldn't do this with artists. It has to be simulated. Final shot from GameTech, which is simulation mixed with CGI. Switch back. So they're certainly the kind of scenes we love to do in games today, but obviously movies have a huge unfair advantage over games. If you look at in terms of pure processing power, there's a quick picture of what a digital render farm. It's got 4,000 CPUs and 104 gigabytes of data. That's 104 terabytes of RAM rather, and that's not going to fit onto your TV anytime soon. So apart from the pure processing power, movies also have this element of predictability. They're storyboarded beforehand. You can create exactly the type of shot you want. In fact, you can use the camera to tell the story and focus in on particular characters in particular places at different times. That's not a luxury we have with games. With games, it has to look good from lots of different angles. And also you've got unlimited iteration. So in that Poseidon scene, all the simulation was exposed directly to the artists. As they were playing through the scene, they were able to inject forces at any time to get exactly the kind of shot we want. But with movies, it tends to be a single shot. That's what you get. Sorry, with games, it's a single shot. You take what you get. So I want to have a look at how different trends, the cinematic quality is starting to evolve through games. Because gamers fundamentally don't care that movies have all this unfair advantage. They really want to see those types of effects in games today. And I'm going to focus on 3 areas, the first of which is more cinematic characters. And I'll divide technologies here into basically 3 pieces. We've got higher fidelity modeling, advances in animation technology, and then context sensitivity, which I'll describe when I get to in a little while. So let's just look at higher fidelity character models first. So now we're at a stage where we can do full-body laser scanning. We can take that data, noisy as it might be, and bring it into standard modeling tools, retopologize it, and use it in games. That's actually a viable way to actually do modeling today. We're sort of the days of polygon artists, where an artist would take polygon tools and generate a character directly. They're pretty much over. Now the vast majority of modeling is done more like sculpting, and artists use tools like Mudbox and ZBrush to sculpt characters. And we're at a stage now where game artists are sculpting characters and using the same fidelity that movie artists are using. So they're all working with models that are on the ranges of hundreds of millions of polygons. And they're sculpting in pores and details, and then they're baking that down either through normal maps into the final game character. Also, layering has become prolific throughout the entire art pipeline. It's only recently that this is the case, that layering is used from everything from texturing through to either level design or even animation compositing. And I think if your content creation tools don't have layering throughout them, there's something really missing there. Because as a programmer, we're always taught to divide and conquer problems, and layering is one of those things that artists have in their toolbox that allows them to divide and conquer large art-based problems. There's a couple of technical areas as well around removing texturing limitations that I think are going to be important. We've always, in games industries, taken textures and tiled them all over the place. So we've loved textures like the texture on the carpet here, which is tiled again and again and again. And we've reused those for different reasons, often for things like bandwidth to the GPU and trying to conserve those. But now there's techniques used in games like Rage, where we take a huge single virtual texture over the world, which might be several thousand of pixels by several thousands of pixels, and then pull portions of that based on where the camera's looking, pull portions of that at different resolutions to build up the final scene. Now that's relatively new technology in games, but it's a problem that simulation has had to deal with for years and years. It's not new to anyone here that textures might be unique throughout the world that you're actually working in. But it's